Okay. We need coffee today. It's 25 degrees out, you guys. It's way too cold out. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Nakia, and today is going to be a updated Q&A. So I have done some Q&As in the past, which I will link in the description box. I should have a playlist, so I'll try to make sure to remember to link that for you guys. But since there's a lot of new people to the channel, I figured it's time to do a new Q&A because a lot of you guys have a lot of questions and some of them are similar. So if I don't answer your question, it may have been asked before. So check out the Q&As that I've done before, which again, I'll link in the description box and above. Okay, so the first question comes from Alan, and Alan asked for me to give a background on my education and if I went to college, like where I went to college, if I went. So before I answer your question, Alan, I actually want to go back because I think this was sometime last year. I received a question from Tangi. I hope I'm saying your name right. And Tangi commented on a video where I actually mentioned a class that I was taking. So if you guys were paying attention back then, you would have known that I'm actually in school. I don't think I ever responded to Tangi, so I want to go ahead and respond in this video. So I am in school. I am actually in process of finishing my bachelor's degree, and I am getting my bachelor's in operations management. I am actually in, as of recording today, I have 3 weeks left. I'm on my final 3 classes. I have 3 weeks left before I finish my bachelor's degree. So I'm super excited to be done. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Tangi, as well as your question, Alan. But very excited to be graduating in a couple of weeks. Yeah. So next question is from Moonfrog. Okay, first of all, I love your screen name, but the question was, what are some of your favorite things to do to relax from work? Well, at this particular moment in time, I'm not doing a lot to relax from work. After work, I am either working on schoolwork or assignments, or I am, after work, I've been working on like that Google Data Analytics course. I'm working on schoolwork, or I'm filming or editing a YouTube video. So I don't have a lot of free time outside of those things, so that is what I'm doing in my free time right now. Hopefully after the school ends in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to, you know, do other things, but as of right now, it's work, school, YouTube. That's what I'm doing in my free time. Okay, so the next question is, what are some common misconceptions about data analytics? Oh, so one, I think, and this is just from what I've seen and heard from people, I think a lot of people believe, one, that all data analytics jobs start over 6 figures. Not true. 2, that you can get hired with just like some of these certification courses. Now, granted, I've only taken 1 certification course, you guys, and I don't think that was enough to get you a job. I can't speak on other courses because I haven't taken them yet, so I don't want to say for sure, but if they're anything like that Google Data Analytics course, I don't for sure see that being as like a way or a path to get into data analytics. I definitely think you need that plus some other things, because in that course specifically, like, one, there's no accountability, like there's no one checking your work, there's no support, and also you did not learn how to do one thing completely. So you didn't learn SQL completely, or SQL, R, or Tableau. They didn't teach you how to use those tools or to learn that code from beginning to end. So that was my issue. So if other courses or boot camps are not providing that to you, then I don't see that as a path to get into data analytics. The other misconception I think there is about data analytics is that we don't talk to people. Like you may not be dealing with what we call like our customers, our clients, our stakeholders, which may be a client that we're working with, or it may be like people within the business internally. Look, you still have to talk to people. You still have to deal with people. These are the people that want you to complete work for them. So yeah, you have to talk to people. Don't think that you don't. It may seem like you don't, but you do. So you have to know and learn how to communicate. And communication is hard to do because you may say something one way and think it's perfectly clear, but people will misinterpret what you said to mean something totally different. But I think that's a common misconception, is that you don't have to talk to people, you don't have to work with others. You absolutely do. And there's a second part to their question. They asked, like, what's the most challenging project that you worked on? So just to give you a background, I work in performance management, and currently I'm working in sales performance management, but previously working in another performance management role that wasn't specific to sales. I was working on, so I had a project that a client asked me to do. So I had built this dashboard for, and I will try to make this as short as possible. So I had a ticket to build a dashboard with some metrics so that we could see, or so that the stakeholder could review employee performance in these particular metrics. Okay, so the dashboard was built. They submitted a ticket saying, hey, there's an issue with the dashboard. The results are wrong. Did not give me any additional details, and I was pretty new to the role. So I spent maybe over a week trying to dig into finding out why this metric was wrong and going through hundreds of lines of code, going through different systems, going through the tables in the database, trying to figure out, okay, is something wrong? First of all, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have asked them for more information. So after a week or so passed, and I said, hey, I'm not seeing anything wrong. Can you give me more information? They were able to reach out to the employee that was stating that their results were wrong, and they gave them screenshots of what they believed wasn't being captured in my dashboard. So when they gave me those screenshots, I went through and I was able to look into the systems that the employees were using, compare that to what was actually showing in the database. And after digging into it like a week or so, I was able to see like there seemed to be something off with the timing. So in this particular table, in a lot of tables we do this, because we have employees all over the country, right? So when they're doing transactions, we have it set so it standardizes the time to Eastern Standard Time. So you could be on Pacific time and the transaction could have happened at 9 a.m. Pacific time, but in the table it's standardized to show a Eastern timestamp, so, or Eastern time zone timestamp, so it would have shown that happened at 12 p.m. It does that for every transaction in this table. So the timestamp from the system showed different than the timestamp in the database, which is normal, but even when I went through standardizing the timestamp from the system, it didn't match what should be showing in the database. So that turned into a whole big issue. Something was off with the timing. I didn't know what. I compared it to other systems and tools that we use, and even our app, and the times, none of the times aligned. So that ended up being like the most challenging project that I worked on, because this had nothing to do with me. I was just using the data that was available in the database, but I ended up having to be the project manager for this issue. And I don't know why, because I didn't create the metric. I'm just gonna leave that there. I don't know why I became the project manager, other than my manager saying, oh yeah, you can do this. So I had to get in contact with the people, the developers of our app, data engineers. We had to get in touch with the people that managed the because it ended up being a server issue. So 6 months prior to this issue, we had integrated to a new server. That's where, like, after doing all the research, digging, meeting with multiple teams, getting them involved, having an epic Jira ticket. Look, it just got wild. It was a lot of people involved. That was the most challenging project. It took me over 3 months to get that project wrapped up and closed out. But yeah, a lot of stuff that I learned. I don't regret doing it, but it was definitely the most challenging project. And it ended up being the only project that I worked on for like that whole 3-month period. It was just that massive of an issue. So yeah, that was definitely my most challenging project that I've worked on. So yeah, all because of a timestamp, y'all. Okay, so this next question is, they're taking the Google course, and at UNC Charlotte, they're taking the business analytics course and wants to know if it's enough. So I'm assuming you're wanting to know, like, is this analytics course that you're taking enough? So I don't know the ins and outs of the analytics course, so I can't say that one course at a college is going to be enough. I don't know if it's like a series of different courses. Maybe that will be enough, depending on what they're teaching you. I would say some things to look out for. Make sure that you are learning a programming language. So if you're learning Python or SQL or R, make sure that they're teaching you the ins and outs of the database and how to use it in different situations, and that you're completing projects. Make sure you're learning how to use a BI tool like Click, like Tableau is the most popular one. Like, make sure you're learning how to use that ins and outs, and that you're completing a project. And I will say, make sure that you are completing a project beginning to end in this course. So you're learning how to code, you're learning how to connect the database to Tableau or to Click, and you're learning how to complete the project there and then put it in a presentation format that you can present to your stakeholders from beginning to end. Like, it needs to be in the entire life cycle process that they're teaching you for you to be able to be comfortable to interview for a job and sound knowledgeable about what you're speaking about to get, you know, potentially hired for a position. Now, in reference to the Google Data Analytics course, no, that's not enough. Absolutely not. So I've taken the Google Data Analytics course, and I know that's not enough. To say this, in my opinion, I don't believe the Google Data Analytics course is enough to get hired. Again, my personal opinion, others may vary and be different, but that I don't think it's enough. Okay, so I did a Google search after recording the video to look up this business analytics course, and this is what I found. Hopefully this is the right one that you're asking about. If not, please let us know in the comments. But from what I'm seeing, everything in this course is a 10-week course. It's like $2,500. And reading the description as well as watching the preview video of the course, everything appears to be introductory. So they're getting you into learning about SQL a little bit. You're going to learn a little bit about Tableau, although it does look like you'll get access to like Tableau learning content that you could use for up to a year, but it just seems like they're teaching you some of the foundational information. You're not going to learn it end to end. And it's only a 10-week course, and they're going over a lot of things. So I wouldn't expect you to learn everything end to end in this one course. So I do believe you will need more than this one course, and based on just what I see in the overview. But if you take it, feel free to come back, comment, and let us know whether or not it went in more depth than what I'm seeing just in the description. So I do just want to add in that I think that school, like taking a course through like a college or university, is great in that, one, you're being held accountable, like there's deadlines, due dates, and also you have support. You have someone that you can reach out to for help. Now, I personally, in the past year and a half, have been taking data science courses through the university that I'm currently enrolled in, and I will just say a lot of the work in the beginning and a lot of the material does reference like a lot of the articles that I've already read, or websites I've already gone through, or YouTube videos that I've already reviewed. Like one of the courses that I've taken that went into Python and coding in Python, it referenced YouTube videos that I've watched on Python. And again, this is an online course. This isn't like an in-person lecture. So I do think it's worth looking at YouTube. Like YouTube is a great resource. It's how I learned. So I didn't have any data analyst skills or anything like that. I'm self-taught. I learned from watching others, either my manager or other people on my team, or watching YouTube videos or Google searching articles and things on how to do certain things. So that's why when you guys are asking, like, do you recommend this certification? Do you recommend this certification? I don't have any certification recommendations because that's not how I learned, and I've only taken one certification course. So that's the only one I have to reference. Like, that's not how I learned. I was being held accountable for these skills at work. So I had to know how to, or learn how to do them on the job in order to do my actual work. So I had an accountability factor in place for me. But I feel like with a lot of these certification courses, if you don't have that in place, it may be difficult if it's just left up to you. Like, would I learn these skills if it's just me on my own time? Probably not. But when I'm enrolled in a class in school, I know I have due dates. I know I have grades. I know I don't want to pay these people all this money. So yes, I'm going to get this work done. So I think that's where, like, taking a course through a college or university has an advantage, or maybe boot camps, if they're set up that way, they may have an advantage over some of these certification courses where you're just doing it on your own time and submitting whatever, and like nobody is checking your work or holding you accountable for anything. So yeah, just my personal opinion, my 2 cents there. So the next question that I wanted to answer was, someone asked, so how did you get a job without knowing SQL? So like my manager told me that he hired me because I had domain knowledge and relevant work experience. So no, I didn't know how to code. Like, I had no data analytics experience. So when it comes to SQL, Python, a BI tool, I knew none of that. I've only really used Excel to do like different dashboard type work in my prior role, but I had relevant work experience as to the area that he wanted someone to work in. So when you're looking for a data analytics job, don't overlook the need for relevant work experience as it relates to domain knowledge. So if you work in HR and you're wanting to break into data analytics, there are HR data analysts. There are healthcare data analysts. There's data analysts in sales. There's data analysts that do different things, but they need to have that particular domain knowledge. They need to know how the tools work in and out. For example, in that last question where they were like, what's the most challenging project that you worked on? I was able to look at the issue because I know how to use the tools. Like, my experience came from employee performance management. So I know all the tools in and out that our employees are using. I know how those systems work. So that's why I'm able to speak confidently, and I'm knowledgeable about them and can determine what some of these issues may be. Now, if I didn't know how to use these systems or tools, he probably would have hired someone else that may have had that knowledge or skill. So I think that if I didn't have that domain knowledge or that relevant work experience, that I would have been at a disadvantage when it came to apply to this job. So like domain knowledge and experience, or having relevant work experience in an area, goes a long way as well if you may not have all of the data analytics skills to back it up. But again, that can vary from hiring manager to hiring manager. So just how I got hired, I did have relevant work experience and domain knowledge, and that's something that he was looking for. And my manager said like, look, I can help you learn SQL, I can help you learn how to use Tableau or Click and all these other things, but your relevant work experience, knowledge, and teaching you these tools and stuff is not something he was willing to teach. So the next question is, so is a data analyst career like a stable career to go into? And I feel that it is stable. I think there's going to be a need for data analysts for years to come. It's just that I think that you're going to need to like upskill a lot. Like, you're going to have to know more and do more, especially as more people are wanting to get into data analytics. More people are like upskilling. So like, you have a lot of competition. Like, you're going to have a lot of people that have more or are learning additional skill sets. Like, outside of learning data analyst, like one data analyst tool, you may need to know 3 or 4. Like, instead of just using Tableau, you may need to learn Tableau, Power BI, as well as Click. But yeah, I think it's a job that we will have for years to come. I just think that it will evolve, and the skill set that you'll need will change, and that you may need to know and do more, like as far as like learning cloud platforms and AI. Like, that may be something that you see, because I see a lot of data analysts doing things, and I'm like, for a lot of other companies, that's the role of a data scientist. So I think we may see what you need to know for different jobs and different roles evolve and change. And the last question is going to be, what certification course do you recommend? So I'm not sure if I touched on this already. I feel like I'm repeating myself, so I may have, but at this particular moment in time, I've only taken one certification course, and that was the Google Data Analytics certification course, not the advanced version, the original version of it. And I do not recommend that for most people. Like, if you are wanting to know, like, get a general idea of what data analysts do and see if this could be a potential career for you, I think it's a great place to start. But if you have a little bit of knowledge of Tableau, SQL, Python, I don't think that's a great place to start. And at this time, I don't have a recommendation for other certification courses because I haven't taken them. I am self-taught, so I learned on the job how to do SQL. I learned from watching YouTube videos. I learned from watching my manager, from other people on my team, from going to articles, reading them on how to complete certain things, because at work, like, even though I could reach out to my manager and coworkers, like, I can't have them on the phone with me all day. So I had to use my resources and tools that were available, which was the internet. So that's how I learned, and I put it in practice, see if it worked, trial and error, figured it out on my own. because I was required to, because I'm literally getting paid to do this work. I'm literally having to have deadlines and due dates. Like, your clients don't care that you're new. They don't. They want their project done, okay? So my plan is to take more certification courses once I'm out of school. I'll have more time to do that, so I can provide recommendations based on my experience and the work that I'm doing. I can give you guys, you know, some feedback and saying, hey, I like this course. Hey, I don't like this course. And here are the reasons why. And I think that will be helpful. But at this time, I don't have any recommendations because I haven't taken them. So I am sorry, but it is what it is. So as I take more courses, I will do updated videos and I will tell you guys what I do or do not like and what I do or do not think is relevant for data analysts. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But I do want to say welcome to all the new people. Subscribe, join us over here. We are all just on this journey of data analytics together. I'm still learning. I'm not going to claim that I know everything because I do not. I'm still learning as I go, but I'm just sharing my journey as a data analyst with you guys. But I appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.